What's up people, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hasan and welcome back to another video here at Most Amazing Top 10. Now I thought after finishing that first video I wouldn't have to read through a bunch of other people's deepest, darkest secrets, but apparently you guys love that stuff, so that's exactly what I'm about to do. Confessions, they're pretty messed up. I was actually following along you guys' reactions in the live premiere of part 1 and your reactions were all literally me when I read those stories for the first time as well. I was like, yes, I understand. I empathize. But anyway, brace yourselves for round 2. This is the top 10 scary confessions that ruin lives, part 2. Starting us off with number 10 is the marble. Now when this boy was 12 years old, he went to Family Dollar with his mum and cousins. They all split up in the store as you do, and the kid spent most of his time in the toy aisle, and back then the toy aisle always had bags of marbles without fail, and a lot of the time other kids would have already opened a bag, so he found an open bag and just started flinging the marbles about. I actually had marbles when I was young too. I used to see the kids on recess playing with them, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be cool and get some too. But I just had no idea what to actually do with them. I just looked at them, I thought they were pretty, but I was like, how do I play a game? I don't even know. Maybe they were all before my time, I don't really know. Either way, one of the marbles he threw went quite far and went into a different aisle. He didn't give it much thought until 2 minutes later when he heard a massive crash and somebody screaming help. The kid went to see what was going on and he found a guy on the ground who had fallen off a ladder whilst trying to get something off the top shelf. And at this point the guy is in really bad shape. He's seizing up, blood was pouring from his head, his face was turning blue, it was catastrophic to put it lightly. His mum quickly pulled him away from the scarring sight, but when they asked the front cashier about it, she said by the time the paramedics got there the guy had already died from choking on his own tongue. Apparently what happened was the man had put the ladder down on a marble and didn't realize before he got on. Now this kid at 12 started freaking the hell out, thinking he was gonna go to jail, and he confessed to his mum a bunch of times, but she just kept telling him, don't worry, you just imagined it. And at this point I feel like even the mum was like, just keep your mouth shut and forget about it, I don't want to deal with the drama. Coming in at number 9 is the brother. Don't worry, this one is not incestuous, I promise you. I know you may have been preparing for that after part 1, but I feel like this could maybe be worse than incest, so there's that. Reddit user Frank Yeager confessed that he killed a young girl's parents when she was just a baby. Frank was very young at the time and didn't have it in him to kill the girl as well, so he took her with him and raised her as his sister. Even now the girl loves him to bits, but every time he looks at her he can just see her parents' eyes looking back at him. Now I don't know how true this is, because why on earth would you confess to murdering anyone on Reddit? I'm sure anyone can just trace the guy's IP address and catch the boy, but if I were to suspend my disbelief, I'd want to know why he killed the parents to begin with, and then make the decision to look at the victim of that murder every day for the rest of his life. Like, just doesn't make sense. At number 8 we have the breakup text. No one likes breakups, let's be real, they suck at the best of times. If you're going through one right now, I'm sorry, stay strong, it does get better, I promise you, but hopefully it went better than this story. An anonymous man shared how he had a Muslim boyfriend and their relationship was great but pretty short-lived. He was putting in a lot of effort but wasn't getting much back. I feel like that's the story of everyone's lives in any relationship. One is giving too much, one is giving too less. You know how it goes, guys. Anyway, in the end they slept together and then the boyfriend started ghosting him and then broke up with him over text. Brutal. This honestly makes me flash back to when Joe Jonas broke up with Taylor Swift in like a 30-second phone call and it was like the biggest deal ever. Like at least he called, he didn't just text. Either way, the dumpy was pissed as hell and wanted revenge, so he got it. He knew his ex's boss and got him to treat his ex like crap and also cut his pay. He then anonymously called his ex's conservative parents, who didn't know their son was gay, and told them he was, and that he was sleeping with men not from his faith. His ex then got kicked out of his house and was disowned, and that meant he couldn't afford college and had to drop out. I feel like this is a bit much. Like, I understand being bitter over a breakup, but there's really no need to have that much bad blood. It's not like the guy cheated, he just didn't want to see him anymore. Like, who hurt you? Please relax. Filling our number 7 slot is dessert gone wrong. Redditor user Insanity Builds confessed that when he was young he really wanted to eat some kind of dessert after a big spaghetti dinner, and honestly fair enough, we all love a bit of a cheeky palate cleanser, don't we? We all do. Either way, the only thing they had in the house was Cool Whip I can't even say it without thinking of Stewie Cool Whip. So all they had was Cool Whip, so thanks to mum he got to eat the entire tub. Already that doesn't sound like a good idea, and it really ended up being a bad one when later that night he had a bit of an accident in his underwear. And TMI, but what came out looked exactly like what went in. It's like the Cool Whip didn't even digest, it just looked the same. Freaking out a bit, the guy tried to hide the evidence by hiding his underwear in between two chairs in his living room to deal with it the next morning. The next day he woke up before everyone else and went to collect the evidence when he found that his dog had already got to it and was cleaning the evidence for him. A few minutes later the dog started licking his mum's face, and the kid knew he couldn't say anything, otherwise he'd probably get ripped a new one. That is just so disgusting. I can't even imagine the amount of germs going on his mum's face. Like, I could gag. That's too much. He should have said something. Now at number 6 is the switch. This one is 100% illegal, I'm sure, but it came from a soldier who fought in the Korean War. He confessed that he saw his fellow comrade die in Korea and for some reason decided to switch their dog tags after he died. After the man finally woke up, he was in an American hospital and everyone in there thought he was the soldier that died because obviously that's what it said on his name tag. Now mind you, the man had a pretty rough upbringing. He had a bad childhood and no real family at all, so when everyone started giving him a lot of respect and calling him by the other guy's name, he kind of didn't stop it. I mean, what reason would he have had to, other than identity fraud? Anyway, he started going by that guy's name ever since and sort of adopted his identity, and now he's a very high up exec in his field, and if this were ever to get out, all that would go down the drain. That is identity theft, I'm 100% sure. Wasn't anyone in the hospital that knew both soldiers and was like, wait, you're not so-and-so, wait a minute. Coming in at number 5 is fraud. Now since we're halfway through, I thought it'd be a bit fun to add my very own confession in here just to, you know, break up the tense atmosphere we've got going on. So this definitely is not gonna ruin lives, but it did ruin my life for like 3 weeks, so there's that. Basically, when I was 12 or 13, I was obsessed with playing Club Penguin on Miniclip. And I feel like a lot of our viewers are younger than me, so you guys may not know what either of those things are, but basically Miniclip was a site that had a whole bunch of games you could play, and Club Penguin was an online multiplayer game where you played as a penguin, I'm sure you can guess, and had your own igloo, got to talk to people around the world, play games, earn money, etc. It was like RuneScape and any other online game. But in the game, if you're a member, you get a lot of perks. Your penguin can wear clothes, it can buy things that non-members can't buy, you can get certain pets and igloos you can't get as a non-member, etc. And to become a member, I think at the time it was like $12 annually. Inflation, honestly, geez, that's nothing. Either way, I asked my parents if I could become a member because I figured $12 wasn't a huge deal, but they said no, crushing my little heart, because back then paying online with your credit card wasn't as common as it is now, so they didn't really trust the whole thing. Either way, I was pissed off, so when I got home the next day from school, I took my mum's credit card when she got home from work and just made myself a member without telling her. So essentially, I committed credit card fraud at the age of 12 over Club Penguin. And I had a ball of a time doing it, honestly, but that night I just couldn't sleep. I was overcome with guilt. I felt like the shittiest daughter ever. I was crying, confessing to my sisters, and they were like, chill, just tell it tomorrow, it's not a big deal. Little did I know, I'm sure my mum probably got a text message saying her card had been used. Very smart 12-year-old, clearly. Either way, the next day I told my mum crying my eyes out, and obviously she was pissed I had done that, and I remember my only defense was that half the money goes to charity. Like, I remember that's all I kept saying, like, please, like, the money goes to, it's for a good cause. Either way, my dad was more chill about it and basically told me I couldn't go on Club Penguin for a week or two, so I just went to my friend's house and started playing it there, just, you know, back on my bullshit straight away. At number 4 is ID, please. Getting ID'd is such a funny thing. My sisters are both 28 and they get ID'd all the time because they look my age. People even wonder if I'm actually older than them, and I'm like, damn, I'm only 21, that's just not a good look. Do I really look 28? That's worrying. Either way, onto the story. Redditor, not pedo bear exactly, confessed that when he was 21, he lied about his age and went to a high school summer camp for a week. There he made out with a 14-year-old girl and went back home and later started writing to this girl telling her he was 18 and about to go to college. They started talking and he went over a few times, they fooled around a bit, and then he went back to college for his senior year. While still talking to her, pretending he was a freshman. Either way, he actually did end up telling her he was 21 in the end, and she was surprisingly okay with it, which I don't even know how. Like, that's so many red flags right there. The dude already lied to you thrice I think already, like, Either way, the guy ended up ghosting her completely and then ended up going for a freshman at his college who I hope at least knows his real age. So I guess he is slightly pedo bear after all. Filling our number 3 slot are the last words. So this one is quite sad, but either way, an anonymous woman confessed that when she was 17, she had a bad argument with her dad and told him to basically off, and later that night he ended up hanging himself. The argument they had was the last conversation her dad had with anyone from the family, and the girl has never told anyone about it. I mean, until now. She's been ridden with guilt ever since it happened, and she lied to her mother about what their last conversation was just so the others wouldn't have to feel bad. Honestly, I feel like if that happened to me, I would just be beating myself up for it constantly, so I can't even imagine what this girl was going through because it actually happened to her. Now at number 2 is the babysitter. Redditor, your hot babysitter, fitting username by the way, confessed that when she was 13 years old, she used to babysit an 8-year-old boy. And she said quote unquote his parents were very open, and I have no idea what she means by that, FYI, and the boy was very sexually aware for an 8-year-old. She had caught him watching porn a few times, and the boy was very attentive and almost aggressive and would always trying to kiss the babysitter and grab her. But after a while, the girl was sort of getting impressed with this 8-year-old boy's game, with his persistence, all the attention she was getting, and she'd never kissed anyone either. So they just started making out, and it became habitual. Every time she went to babysit, it would happen for about a year, and then all of a sudden the parents just stopped calling her. They never told her why, but I can well imagine it had something to do with the fact that make out with our 8-year-old son was not part of her job description. Till this day, she's never told anyone this, and she's still worried she'll one day be exposed as a child molester, which, I mean, fair enough, but also the boy was 8. What are they feeding you at 8 to make you that sexually aware? I don't understand. Do all boys just get horny at 8? Like, I was not horny at 8. This is a joke. And finally, at number 1 is the leak. So this one is actually really mean, I feel, for everyone involved except the person who did it. So the user Dude confessed her and her ex-best friend were like the 2 popular girls in school, except the friend was a bit more popular. One day they were hanging out at the friend's place, and while she was in the shower, the user snooped through her laptop and found the girl's sex tape with her boyfriend, videos of her pleasuring herself, etc. And so, as any real best friend would, she uploaded the videos everywhere. And as you can imagine, literally everyone saw it. The girl's brothers beat up her boyfriend to the point they nearly killed him, which is horrible because it wasn't even him that leaked the stuff. The girl whose videos got leaked ended up getting kicked out of their school, and the user was chuffed about that because she got to play the good best friend role who was defending her when people asked about it. Snake, there's just so much snakery going on, I can't deal with it. Can't. Girls, need to stop being snakes. The girl tried to get back into other schools, but now her college record was not ideal, and her boyfriend actually ended up moving country. The user never hears from the girl anymore, and the girl barely goes out. She stopped getting money from her parents after that, and the last time they spoke, she was still very much hell-bent on blaming her ex for releasing the videos. This is literally why it's so hard for me to have girlfriends. It's so hard to just find genuine girls, like legitimately, like what a snake. I can't. I cannot. And that's it for today's video, guys. Honestly, I really liked part 2 a lot more than part 1, mainly because there was no incest involved. We like no incest, don't we? Well, let me know what you guys thought below, and as always, I'm your host Ayman Hasan, and I'll see you next time. Bye!